warmer than normal, and that the portable cooling unit had stopped cooling because the condensate container was full. Be sure to schedule routine emptying of the condensate container. Again, this comes back to training. Now let's talk about some things that can go wrong. I'm going to talk about 6 examples of common mistakes. First example, the UPS tanks when the portable cooling unit gets plugged into a UPS outlet. We'll talk some more on this later, but it is best practice to only power IT equipment from the UPS. Even new IT equipment should be powered up on utility power to ensure it's in good working order before it's plugged into UPS power. Plugging in a spot cooler to UPS power is not a good idea. Also, I've observed many data centers with UPS outlets on the wall. This is just an incident waiting to happen. Second example, the portable cooling unit loses power when it's plugged into a heavily loaded circuit, tripping the breaker for that circuit. Now, this happens more than you'd think. A lot of data centers I've been in will have many outlets on the wall, but only 1 or 2 circuits feeding them. So, if 2 portable cooling units or portable cooling unit and a wet bag are plugged into the same circuit, even at different outlets, there is a good chance the circuit breaker will trip. It is good practice to limit the number of wall receptacles on the same circuit to 2 or less, and to have multiple circuits in the room. Third example, exhaust gets ducted into the ceiling plenum with no house air circulation, or house air is not on 24/7. Remember, all the portable cooling unit does is move heat. It takes heat from the supply air and moves it to the condenser air. If this condenser heat is put into a closed box for long enough, most likely it's going to come back into the room that's being cooled. Temperatures rise in the room, and at some point, something will fail. The condensate is not emptied. Remember the war story above. The condensate pans must be emptied on a regular basis. Depending on humidity in the room, it may need to be emptied every few hours, or it may be every few days. If a portable cooling unit is set up, be sure that someone is assigned to empty it every few hours. And even if there's a small amount of water in the pan, you never know if the person assigned to empty the pan will get distracted and miss the next round. Fifth example, a portable cooling unit won't fit where it needs to be located. This is where planning comes in. There's almost always a way to provide cooling, maybe a smaller unit, or maybe running supply air duct to the load that needs cooling. Think this through ahead of time, and if the need arises, you'll be ready to meet the challenge. Sixth example, the person or persons who deploy portable cooling units have not been properly trained. Remember my war stories. My mistake number 1, just because it seems intuitive to you doesn't mean that's the case for others. Provide training where a portable cooling unit is actually deployed, and turn it on. Demonstrate how the condensate pan should be emptied, or how the hose should be run from the condensate pump to the drain. Explain how to run the ductwork and electrical cords to prevent trips and falls. Do this ahead of time, and you'll be ready when the real events happen. Planning. We'll talk about the 9 points shown on the slide. These points should be considered